What are you doing?
Hey guys, I have a litter of puppies and I'm selling them off, and some people are asking some questions about how I train them and what to expect. And I just decided to make a video of it to send to them, but I might as well post it here too because you can always get new ideas by watching new videos on YouTube. This little guy is an Australian cattle dog. He is 4 weeks old today. He's kind of the rambunctious one of the litter, loves causing trouble. He was the first one out of his pool when he was a puppy. Um, he would wake us up in the middle of the night just to get our attention. So that's why I decided to use him, because I think he's a perfect example dog. Um, but this is just kind of what I do with them. I like to hold them in the air, not necessarily close to me. I do hold them close and I cuddle them tons, but just to get them well rounded, so they're not afraid of this or that. Or I know some dogs you can't pick them up, some dogs you can't touch their ears, and I like to avoid all of that. Um, and even if the owners don't do it after they get the puppy, this is something that they've done before and they will remember it when it comes down to it. So I just want to show you kind of how I do it. One of the things I do is I start by holding them just with one hand, and I like to hold them out. And I've obviously done this before. You can see he's not too uncomfortable with it. He's not too shocked or anything like that. I like to look at him, turn him this way, turn them that way. Something else that's really important to do is to put them on their back. You just never know when you're going to need something like this, whether it's at the vet, or you need to check something out on them, or there's an issue, or right down to like putting flea and tick medicine on them. Sometimes you have to do this kind of stuff. The other day when I wormed him, I had to do this because he was just throwing a fit. So I had to put him on his back and lift it up. But yeah, so I'm just gonna do this so you can kind of see exactly what I do. And he doesn't like this very much. He's still getting used to it. But I just put them on their back and I hold him there. He's kind of panicked right now just because it's not necessarily a natural position for a dog to be held down like this, but he's doing really good. And I pet him. I tell him he's a good boy, how much I like him, and he's really holding on for dear life right now. But that's a okay thing. The fact that he's not freaking out shows that he's processing, he's thinking, he's not just panicking. So I'll do that. I'll tickle his belly a little bit. So he's kind of looking around like, what's going on? He's okay. And when he starts to panic like that, I just tell him it's okay. No big deal. We're just having some fun here. Huh? Yeah, he's okay. Good boy. Shh, good boy. There we go. See? He is starting to freak out a little bit, and I'm not going to do it too much to him, so I'm going to go ahead and flip him around. I have this blanket down because at 4 weeks old, they can't control their bladders very well, and I don't want to ruin my carpet. But I'm going to pet him, give him a little break. Let him think for a second. Are you a good puppy? Then he's wondering what's happening. He said he'd rather just play, but I got to teach him to be a good boy. And I'm also going to show you how I just touch their... And now he wants to play. I'm going to touch his ears. I'm just going to rub him just like that, so that he's used to it and that it's not a thing later. I really don't want it to be. I don't want anyone to get my dogs and say, oh, I took them to the vet because they had mites or an ear infection and there was nothing that I could do. So like this, pet his head, rub his paws again. And I do this every day with every puppy. I spend a lot of time investing in them. Their nails are getting long. We're not going to trim them this week, but we will start nail trimming next week. So if you want to see that, you can come back in a little while. I do not remove the dew claws either. I don't see any reason to. I know some people have issues, and if it is an issue later, you can remove them, but my dogs use them regularly. My mom does. She has hers, and she uses them to eat, to play, so I leave them on my puppies. Australian cattle dogs also often get their tails cut, but I've decided to leave them because I just think they're so beautiful, and there's not a lot of evidence that it helps. So, but that's just this particular breed. So I'm touching him, his paws. I'm gonna put him up like this, so it's no big deal. It's kind of like a wheelbarrow, and even now he's not panicking too much. Does he like it? Not necessarily, but he's okay. Something else at this stage, they started getting their teeth a few days ago. I don't know if you can see that in the video or not. Do you want to zoom in and show his little teeth first? Good boy. You good boy. Can you see his teeth or not? So there's his his teeth. So we haven't done much mouth work yet, but we're going to start with him. This will actually be his first time with me putting my hands in his mouth and moving them around, so that's why he's not really sure what's happening. But they're kind of starting to chew right now, and I was out there earlier and one of them was nipping at my fingers, which is not a big deal when they're this big, but when they're 3 months old, when they're 10 weeks old, it's a big deal, and they have some seriously sharp teeth that could really do some damage. And the last thing I want is for them to get in trouble or for them to hurt someone. So I'm just going to take my fingers, I'm going to insert it, no big deal. I'm just touching the roof of his mouth. He doesn't really like that, but he's not, he's okay with it, you know. He's not really sure. I'm not letting him bite me. I'm going to do my other finger. And he's just, right now, he's not even trying to bite me. He just wants my finger out of his mouth. But again, this is, if they ever have a tooth infection or something like that, you're going to be able to check it out, and he's going to be okay with this. And that's his first time, so I'm not going to go too crazy. I'm going to wait till he calms down a little bit because I don't want him to think that by him freaking out, that's why I took my fingers out. So as soon as he calms down a little bit, I will. Like that's okay, I think. He's not trying with his paws anymore. Good boy, huh? Tell him he's a good boy. And he wasn't trying to bite me, which was good in a way, but I was kind of hoping he would so I could show you what I do when they do try to nip. But I might have to get him in a more playful mood to do that. You a good boy? Hey, come here. Where are you going? Boop, 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 boop. Come here, get back here. Huh? You a good boy? Are you a sweet boy? You getting tired of all this training? So I'd like for him to... He's not being super playful right now because we've been doing a lot of stuff, and he's kind of like, leave me alone. There we go. There's a little something. And I am purposely kind of teasing him around his mouth so that he could possibly open it up to try to play with his mouth, which we don't allow any kind of mouth play with our dogs or our puppies for the reason of they could bite someone and they could hurt someone one day. Now, one of my dogs is 3 years old, and I play with her mouth, but she's 3. She's been through it. She knows how to be gentle. She knows she can't bite down hard. But this is what I started with, just putting my hands in her mouth, touching her tongue. His tongue's still pretty little, so I can't pull it out of his mouth, but when he gets a little older, I will. But after doing this for a couple days, by next week, he should be totally okay with this. Just because I've done it and he knows I'm not going to hurt him. Look at that. He's licking me. That's okay. But yeah, so that's kind of it in a nutshell. That's just what I'm doing right now as far as training goes. He's just a baby. I mean, imagine just a 4-month-old baby. You know, you can't teach him, so you could say no or something like that, but you can't really do too much. His little brain can only handle so much. When he's this old. Like, I haven't started really potty training much. No vocal commands. I do tell them when I feed them, I say wait until I put it down. They're not really waiting much yet because they can't really understand, and they've only been eating food for about a week. So, you know, it's a process. I don't let them jump on me because now it's adorable, and I kind of wish I could, but I don't want them jumping on me now. And then when they're 8 weeks old, having to break them of that. So I just go ahead and start when they're really young. So when they jump, he'll climb. Normally, he's climbing up on me, but he's not really liking this. He'll climb up on me like this, and I just say no jumping, and I put his paws down and I pet his butt. I don't want to reward that in any way, but I also don't want to freak him out and yell at him or anything like that. When he gets a little older, if he's still doing that, I'll show you some tricks to stop that. And that goes with like fighting with the mouth too. But that's all I have for today, and that's all I'm doing right now because, like I said, they're pretty young.